Oh man, you guys have to absolutely love 7.62 by 39. So what we're talking about today is exactly what I just did, which is the way I charged my AK-47 here. This is C39V2 from Century Arms. Great gun, check it out. We do have a full review on it. But the other day in a discussion forum, and I've seen this before, a viewer asked me why it is that I invert my AK like this, reach up underneath, charge the rifle, and move from there. So that would look like magazine in, reach up underneath, charge the gun, grab the rifle, and level it. And my answer to that person is actually pretty simple, and that is that I treat all my guns the same all the time. And what I mean by that is the level of similarity is that I use the workspace reload on every gun that I'm trying to operate on the range. So if we try to compare that situation to any of the other guns that we use, for instance, you heard the workspace reload for a pistol. When the gun runs dry, I eject the magazine, take a new source of ammunition, bring it up here, charge the gun, and then I can do work. And what this allows me to do is simultaneously manage the workspace, where I'm doing all of the work on getting the gun up and running, and manage the battle space at the same time without losing sight of either, because I have this in my peripheral vision, and I know its space inherently relative to my body, and then I can also see what's going on downrange. The other thing that this allows me to do is engage all of my large muscle groups. Dog, if you'll come in here, weapon's empty. If I'm in here like this, and I've got all of my large muscle groups engaged, try and take this thing from me.
I'm not going to.
Why?
I'm just not going to be able to.
Well, try and. So if I can do this, we can struggle over this all day, and you're going to pull it from me.
All right.
But if I've got it down like this,
I'm going to push that on you, or I'm going to take it away from you.
You've got control. You can. You see, he can get me here. Again, cold weapon, guys. You should not be doing that with a hot weapon at all. So there's a very good demonstration of why it's important to use the workspace reload. You're talking about a tactical or defensive shooting situation. Likewise, go ahead and reholster this.
Or if you're reloading in a vehicle.
Reloading in a vehicle, you can't put that down.
Right.
If I do the same thing with an AR-15, it's very, very common to see people reloading their rifles like this, correct? Very, very common. So the workspace reload is not anything new for the AR-15 platform. So why
would you switch it up?
Why would you switch it up just because the charging handle of my rifle is on the right side of the gun? It doesn't really make sense. And the other thing, if we go back to the weakness side of things, this is a heavy gun. All right, AKs are typically a little bit heavier guns.
Right.
So if I'm talking about this situation, for instance, where I've rotated the gun over and charged the rifle like this, I don't consider myself an exceptionally weak individual, and we gym together from time to time. You can somewhat validate this. But if I had to stand here and do this for a minute,
you're going to get tired. You're going to get real tired.
I'm going to get real tired. You know, and now, granted, I do have a shoulder injury, but at the same time, when I'm doing this gets fatiguing. The other side of it is I've now taken my eyes off the battle space.
Now you're looking down instead of at your target or your potential threats.
Now I'm looking down at the rifle to work it, as opposed to keeping my eyes out there. Same thing if we go to this situation here, where I am, I've dropped the rifle down from this situation to charge it like this.
Yeah, this is what I'm being sarcastic, but this is what I'm going to do if I've got threats in front of me.
Yes.
I'm not going to do this.
Yes, exactly. You've not only taken your eyes off of the battle space to focus on this, but you've also done one thing that I consider to be even worse, which is to remove your firing hand from fire control. In this situation, we maintain full control of the gun, and I could use this with one hand if I desired. However, if I do this, I have no control over this gun. And if we want to go back to the control situation, if I got the gun like this, take this thing from me.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very easy for you to strip that out of my hands.
Right.
So these are both things that that if we look at in terms of using the workspace reload for an AK-47, it makes much more sense. The argument that I hear most negative about it is that you can't see the charging handle.
Okay. Well, when you look down at and reload, you're not looking down at your mag pouch, are you? You're not looking down at your holster when you pick up or you pull your sidearm out. Then why would you have to look at your charging handle?
Absolutely. You don't have to have visual confirmation of the charging handle. You know where it is. Really no reason why I have to look at this gun to do it. I know where it is in relation to my firing hand. So these are all things that training become a major part of in being able to run your guns more effectively. So to answer the question, that is why we run our AKs like this. And I know that many trainers across the United States also teach the use of the underhand charging grip for the AK-47. Going back to getting it into battery, you put a fresh magazine into it. This is obviously not a fresh magazine. You've charged the AK, and then what's the biggest problem with an AK that's been running? It gets really hot, right?
It's really hot.
Relative to your standard AR-15, if we can roll that thing in here, will you go grab that? If we can roll that thing in here, the amount of handguard that we have on a traditional, carbine these days versus an AK, we're talking about a lot less. If I've got it all the way up here, I know exactly where I'm putting my hand, and I have positive control of the gun at this point in time. So these are all things to help us more effectively run the AK-47, and that is why, in my humble opinion, it should be run with a workspace reload underhand grip on the charging handle. Got anything to add there, Dog?
No.
No?
No.
Well, you've been standing here in the sun long enough with me. Why don't you trade me? I'll get you another magazine. Go ahead and close this video outright. Here you go, boss.